It was over 30 years ago when two twin brothers, Fay Fife, formed the Proclaimers. Since then, Craig and Charlie Reid have released 10 studio albums, wowed countless crowds and inspired the stage musical Sunshine on Leith, which of course featured their songs and gave rise to a film version of the same name. They've enjoyed major global success, and their brilliant 10th studio album, Let's Hear It for the Dogs, has just been released, and it's on course to be their highest charting album for 21 years. So I'm delighted to see that Craig and Charlie join us now on the Culture Studio. Hello, boys.
Hello. Hello, Nicola.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
This is very exciting news this week, that this album's looking like it's going to chart in the top 20.
Yeah, I mean, that's not really saying much, because it's
got to sell 5 copies.
25 years.
Oh, listen,
you know what I mean?
listen to us.
Many copies you say, I don't know where it's going to end up, but I don't know.
We're very happy.
Yeah.
It's very exciting for me. As a fan of the charts, I'm delighted to see that you're in there. That's wonderful. So listen, you're going to play some songs for us this afternoon, which is brilliant. But before you do, I wanted to speak to you about the canine connection on your new album. It's called Let's Hear It for the Dogs. There's a lovely little dog in the video for You Built Me Up. And there are also 3 big dogs on the album cover. How did the dogs come to play such a starring role?
Well, the one in the video, I was trying to kick it away. It was getting a wee bit annoying. I think it gets too much exposure, and it's like a cat. That was nice, but the ones that the deerhounds, was it deerhounds we had?
Yeah, Scottish deerhounds.
So they came down from the Highlands somewhere. Like
a gentleman from Sutherland brought them down. I think he had himself at about 5:30 in the morning to get to Edinburgh for 9, and he brought them in. And of course, anybody who knows that kind of dog knows that they just lie about, and the dogs didn't do anything other than lie about. Even when we had to move them to take the pictures, the owner was trying to lift them and pull them up with they're the laziest dogs in the world, except if a deer goes by, so I'm told.
Is that right? So,
yes.
that old adage of never working with animals is springing to mind, and they're all over your
At least
your
the only
record.
hyperactive thing in the studio was the people trying to take the pictures. It certainly wasn't the dogs.
And so was it one of these things that just kind of spiralled? Obviously there's a lovely line in one of the songs: Scottish dogs have an inbuilt advantage over Scottish humankind. That's wise.
Yeah, it's a song we're going to be playing later on called What School, coming from the old phrase, what school did you go to, meaning were you Catholic or Protestant.
Indeed.
So it kind of came out of that, and the dog thing kind of was woven into that lyric.
And the universal affection, of course. Well, listen, we're thrilled that you're going to play a few songs for us this afternoon, and we'd love to hear one now. What are you going to play for us first?
This one is called Tuesday Afternoon.
Fantastic. Just in your own time.
3, 4. The time was 20 past, our meeting was delayed. I watched you move over Edinburgh concrete. I hid behind the wall, and as you approached, I tried to guess at what you were thinking. Then memory took me away, 2 miles from here and 3 decades ago. Then all at once so soon, you were inside the room, and that was Tuesday afternoon. This love is old and new, this love is happening now. This love is mine, and I give it to you gladly. If you don't want it, say, and I'll take it away. I'll put it back in the place where I found it. Then every now and then I'll take it out again, turn it in my hands and look upon its madness, then lead it from the room and show it to the moon. I remember Tuesday afternoon. I remember Tuesday afternoon. I recall the sweet scent of your skin. And if I try hard, I begin almost to draw a trace of your glistening lips upon my face. I never regret you, but sometimes I forget you. Like when I'm tired and I make bad decisions, but you come back to me, you lovely melody sings to my soul and lifts me to heaven. And as I'm rising up, a yellow buttercup illuminates your chin and causes gentle laughter. Yours is a song I croon. I know I'll see you soon. I love you Tuesday afternoon. I love you Tuesday afternoon.
Truly, they are superlative crooners. A classic love song there from our session guest, the Proclaimers, with Tuesday Afternoon, which is taken from their brand new album, Let's Hear It for the Dogs. Thanks so much for that. It sounded brilliant.
Thank you.
Charlie, I love the contrast of romantic signposts in that song. Buttercups, the moon, Edinburgh concrete, bringing us back down to earth.
Yes. Well, there you go. They tell me that works.
So
it works for the women, I think. Put the romance in, the concrete's for the guys.
Well, do you know what was the concrete that I picked up on? But there you are, maybe bucking the stereotype. And keeping it in Edinburgh as well. I like that it locates it in the kind of the universal, but also in the kind of day-to-day. Well,
that's what we always try to do, you know. I mean, we always like those old Chuck Berry songs that name-checked all those cities, you know, and all the country songs, the blues songs. And I know Scotland's a small country, but it's always nice to put the names of the cities and the towns and or the areas of them as well. Yeah, and that's something you've always done in your work from Sunshine on Leith, obviously onwards. It's lovely that there is almost this Proclaimers map of Scotland in some ways, the East Coast anyway.
Yes, well, we're trying to get as many places as we can, but there's many more to go.
I'm glad
I don't think there's enough years left to put them all in.
Oh, listen, I'm sure there is. I mean, obviously, speaking of years and such, there's a real sort of timelessness to that song and of the album in general. It was produced by, now forgive me, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, Dave Eringa?
Dave Eringa, yes. Eringa, that's right. Yes.
Who's worked with The Who and the Manic Street Preachers. When you went into the studio with him, did you have a particular sort of sound or feel in mind that you wanted to come up with?
No, the reason we chose Dave is, I mean, he is a rock producer, as you say, and he's a rock guy, and we're definitely not, but we love the sound he got on the Roger Daltrey and Wilco Johnson album.
Sure.
I think it was fantastic sound. So we wanted to try and get the immediacy and the power of the live thing. So Dave came up to Edinburgh, we routine the songs with a band, and he changed a few things. Didn't really change that much, and then we went down to Wales to record it, and we did as much as we could live, and the guys in the band did a fantastic job. They did all the backing tracks in 5 days for 13 songs, which is amazing.
That's incredible. Yeah, it sounds like it was good fun to make.
It was, yeah. It's good. I think if you do as much pre-production work as you can, then and you know the studio, because we all knew it because we'd recorded there before. You're then just looking for performance, trying to get the best performance, and that proved to work there.
Sure, and obviously you had the songs ready by that first meeting. Yeah. When did you start writing the album? What's the sort of chronology or the time span of it?
We played the last show we did on the last tour was in Glasgow, the Hydro, in October of 2013. And
the opening show of the Hydro.
It was one of the opening shows, yeah. So it was almost right after then that we started writing, and we wrote right through the end of 2013, and we wrote, I think, to kind of late summer of last year, and then we had everything, we demoed everything, me and Charlie in Edinburgh. And then we started looking around for producers, and it was recorded. This album was recorded literally just before Christmas last year.
Wow, so it's still really fresh in terms of it being recorded. Yeah. Did you start with any sort of themes, or did they emerge? Obviously, you know, from time passing, love, of course, national identity, not to mention dogs.
Yeah, I think we're always kind of looking to get different subject matter. To us, the lyrics are more important than the music. I think both of us find the music easier, but the lyrics are more rewarding. So I think if you can get a different subject or get a subject that other people have written about, but there's not many write about it, then that's a good thing. And usually I very rarely know what a song's going to be about. Something like What School was suggested by a phrase. Someone for the West of Scotland used the phrase to me in an ironic thing, saying, well, had been living in England, as it said that there's none of that. What school did you go to? Stuff like that. And there was a couple other things that came from phrases, but generally I'll have pretty much all the music done and then sit down and I think, well, what's it going to be about? And then you set the piano, you sing away, and then you maybe get a phrase, you get the first line or the first two lines, and then you know what the song's about.
Yeah, so it emerges over time,
Yeah.
sort of thing. And were there sort of earlier songs on the record that informed the sound of it? I mean, it's got a really lovely classic pop sound, but it's broad in style.
It is. I think that what informs it is the sound of I think, a very, very, very good touring band. And this band has been unchanged, I think, since 2007.
Wow.
So for us, that's great. And the continuity with the band, with the tour manager, with the buddy and that doing as roadies, and our manager itself, we like continuity. And certainly with musicians, if the guys can get on, can play together, and if they can tour together, because it's not the same thing, if you can do all that, then eventually, hopefully, a good sort of esprit de corps materialises in the band, and certainly everybody was well up for recording the new songs. That was I think they were thrilled with that.
And the dynamics there already.
Yes.
Is it still exciting for you? You're releasing a record, obviously a brand new album this week. It's exciting for us as fans, but as artists, what's it like?
It is. It's good to get it out there. You know, I think our favourite things are writing songs and playing them live. It's not in the studio, but I think they've made a lot of records in the last 10 or 15 years, so it becomes easier. Studio work becomes easier, you know, but it never completely feels natural, but in the way that writing or singing does. But I think we enjoy it more. But it's not. It's always very exciting to put a new record out there, because obviously we wouldn't put it out if we didn't think it was good. But
Sure.
and the actual critics' response this time it's been pretty good. But that isn't really what we're looking for. We're looking to kind of put a record out and try and put our feelings and our soul into it, and then get that across to the listening public as directly as possible.